photos. That even in yayo, and she has done that for years. And now ngoku, whenever I want to start into usisinoso ngomnye abanendithetha nabo. Currently sibhizi ngoku sifuna ukwenza into ye-boys foundation, and that she's open and always available to assist ukuthi ngeziphi izinto bekhe wazenza yena for into ze-girls. Ndiyabulela kakhulu mansisinosi, ube yi-blessing kum kakhulu nefamily yam. Sabulela and siyakuthanda kakhulu. Thank you.
Wow, Lupum. I was not expecting this.
In Port Elizabeth, and then I attacked him. Wow, Kusan, you Mabianes and the Cyril Ramaphosas of this world. And all Ace Abba even worse. They must go.
We didn't have food. We really came from. I was like, okay, all right.
If you don't know Nosi Ncoyo and you are in the Eastern Cape, then there's something wrong with you. Like if you don't know who this person is, there's something definitely wrong with you. But for those of you who are maybe looking at her face or hearing her voice for the very, very first time, she's an entrepreneur, she's a mother, the founder of Vision4 Academy. She is a speaker, an inspirational speaker, a mentor to so many men and women. She's someone that has inspired a whole lot of people out there, including myself, to do what we are currently doing. And she is a force to be reckoned with. Sis Nosi, thank you so much for coming. And we are so lucky to have you.
Oh, thank you, Luphumlo. I am so happy to be here. I've been looking forward to come and be here and be part of your podcast.
Oh, this is sparkling water. It's not thingy.
Is it?
But it's fine.
You should
It's
have.
fine.
You should have taken coffee. You know.
Yeah. Sis Nosi, wow, I don't know where to start. I did quite a bit of digging because I wanted to be really, really prepared for our conversation. I watched some of your interviews that you did, but I'm well aware that maybe some people out there wouldn't know what you do and who you are.
Yes.
So maybe let's start from the beginning for anyone out there who might not know who Sis Nosi Ncoyo is, how would you introduce yourself to them?
Okay. My full name is Nocipio. I love my full name, even though
Okay.
a lot of people use Nosi, just to shorten the name. Nocipio is it's a name that was given to me by my grandmother.
Yeah.
It means with gift. So I don't know whether she was prophesying or whatever, because of the circumstances at the time, would not, encourage someone like my grandmother, who had an only daughter, who had a child at 17, to call the grandchild Nocipio with gift. But I'm amazed, just by the presence of mind that she had to give me that name. So I love that name, Nocipio. I am an entrepreneur, as you said. I have started a series of businesses, salon business.
I didn't know that.
Yes,
Salon?
that was my first business in 2001. It was called Libone Hair Salon. I had 2 salons, by the way, in Kabega area as well as Algoa Park.
Wow.
Before I started Vision4 Academy. So after Libone, whilst Libone was still in progress, the salon business, I started the training consultancy. So I'm in skills development. I'm an entrepreneur in skills development. So I've done a lot of work in enterprise development, leadership development, management development, and all your soft skills. I also ran with my husband property rental and all that, as well as Emambozana Studios, which was basically for TV production. So I have
done quite a lot. Yeah.
Yes, I've won quite a lot of hits, but most people know me as Vision4 Women Founder, which is a women development part of our business.
Yeah, because when I came across you, also it was through Vision4. I remember I went into your office and then I was just asking for advice. I was still starting out. I don't know if you remember. I was still starting Global Leadership Consultants, and then you invited us to your boardroom and you gave me such solid advice that day. I'm not sure if you remember.
People remind me of the things that I did. I completely forget, you know.
Because you help so many people.
Maybe that's the reason. But I'm happy that at least I made a mark in some
You
people's
did,
lives.
you did, and you still do. So maybe, so that fire or that thing to start a business for you, because for a lot of people it comes from different places. So some people start a business because maybe they don't have a job. Some people start businesses because they want to make money. For you, let's go back to your first business, starting that hair salon. Why did you?
All right, both myself and my husband, we stayed in East London, but we are both born and bred in Port Elizabeth. So it was basically a career move for him to start a new job in Port Elizabeth. And then we sat down and decided when we
And
go,
he's an engineer. No?
he's an electrical engineer. So we decided when we go back home, one of us should start a business. And in that case, because I think I'm more of a risk taker. So I was the one that was saying, look, I will start a business. So, but I wanted the freedom. When I used to work, I worked for 3 years in my life for a corporate.
Where did you work?
I worked at KPMG. That was my last job in East London. So I just wanted I wanted freedom. I wanted to make a freedom to make my own decisions, you know. Besides making money, I wanted to make a lot of money. I grew up actually from a home of entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
I've never seen my dad working.
Yeah.
So my dad was running a series of businesses. So it's something that I was like raised in. I've never seen my dad taking a bag going to work. I don't know that life. So that was for me an inspiration, just the freedom to make decisions, the freedom to, because when you're an entrepreneur, you are able to reinvent yourself. You can, you know, you can make a difference in other people's lives. So that for me was inspiration.
Yeah, and that's amazing. And so what happened to those salons?
I sold the 2 salons because they say when you are starting a business, you must have, when you're starting, actually, you must have an exit plan, which is basically to sell the business.
Wow.
So I sold the hair salons,
Wow.
both of them.
A lot of us don't think like that, right?
Yeah.
Wow. Would you mind sharing how much you sold them for?
No, all right. When I look at it from now, I'm thinking, oh, that was like not a lot of money. But I'm glad that it was a business that could be sold to other people. Yeah, it was good enough. It was good enough.
And then, I mean, you're a family woman. You're always posting about tags and your kids, and you love them so much.
Yeah.
I always wonder because entrepreneurship, you would know more than me because you are light years ahead of us. You would know that it's tough. You know, it's tough. So I always wondered, like, what role does that play? Having a sense of security in the family, and what role does that play in your entrepreneurial journey?
Yes. Having a family, I mean, you also have your family as well. Having a family centers you, it grounds you, you know. I was in a 45th birthday party, a cousin's birthday party recently, and I was an MC. So people were talking to this lady who had a party, and my husband was one of the speakers. And he said something profound. He said, you can be successful anywhere in the world, but if you are not successful in your family, then you are not successful. So for me, true success is not through Vision4 and what you guys know outside. Is what my children would say about me, is what my husband would say about me. So I am deliberate and I'm intentional in making sure that that relationship works.
Wow.
So for me, that family, my family grounds me. My sense of security when everything is going wrong. I mean, you know, in business, it's sometimes you have your highs, sometimes you have your lows. You have your family as a backing to encourage you and to support you.
Yeah. Hey, but you guys are so close. You love each other. That love is
He's
it's
my
rare.
childhood sweetheart. I mean, I don't know anyone. He's my guy.
Wow.
Yeah, so he's my childhood sweetheart. We've been together. I've known him
For how long now?
since I was 15 years old. Wow. So our boy-girl relationship now is celebrating, that relationship is celebrating 30 years this year. So we are married for 25 years.
Wow. This is not say you are very mdala.
I'm dala. I told you before this interview that I'm feeling hot. Maybe it's my inbuilt heater, you know.
Let's go to, a lot of people know you through Vision4.
Yes.
Such a catchy name, a lot of work that you've done across Nelson Mandela Bay.
Yeah.
Take us back to when you started with Vision 4.
Yes.
What was your intention? What are some of the things that you've managed to do when you look back? Because it's been years. I think you started in 2013. Right?
Yes.
Yeah. So how did that happen?
Actually, not even in 2013, 2003. I started.
2003?
Yes, I started, but it has been like Vision 4 Consulting, evolving, Vision 4 Academy. Now it's like Vision4Group.
Yeah.
So we keep on expanding things that we are adding, or we're adding more business ideas into the whole group. It was in 2001, before when I was working. I worked in a division which was called Consulting Division at KPMG. So they were doing a lot of work consulting. Then Public Finance Management Act was introduced.
Okay.
So my boss was basically the one that was consulting for government to introduce the act. So he would pull me through, to go and facilitate the training with him for government officials. So I sort of like caught a bug. I loved what he was doing. I loved what...
It was in East London.
That was in East London, but we did a lot of consulting work in Bishop.
Yeah.
So, and then one day he said to me, "Nosi, you've been with me." I was in administration. He said, "You've been with me and coming with me to these sessions for a very long time. Tomorrow, you are going to facilitate."
Wow.
That was it. Started to practice. From that day onwards, when I started to facilitate part of the modules that we were sharing to the officials, I said, I want this for myself. I would like to basically empower others through training. So when we relocated to Port Elizabeth, as I told you before, my biggest idea, besides the hair salon, because I love beauty and I love all the aesthetics, but I wanted to start a business in the empowerment space.
Yes.
So one of my clients at the salon asked me, "Nosi, besides the salon, what is it that you are doing?" And I said, I am in training. But then how I started, I would go to schools and ask to do inspirational talks to grade 11 and grade 12 students.
Yeah.
So I had registered Vision4 Consulting as a CC then.
Okay.
So this client of mine asked me, "What else are you doing besides the salon?" I said, "I have this motivational business and training. I'm going towards training." She said, "You must come over. You need to have a talk." That was my first contract. At the
Paying contract.
paying contract.
Wow.
At the
Do you remember
UPE.
how much it was?
But I made a fool of myself when. Now she asked me. Then we won this training. They wanted to train a women co-op they were in bakery.
Yeah.
They were a bakery. She asked me, "And then we want you to do communication skills for them. How much are you going to charge us?" I said, "I don't know." And she said, "But you are an entrepreneur. How can you say you don't know?" Because that was my first project. So I said, anything that would like me.
Hey, those words.
Charge me.
I know Barcelona.
Me
and
to
those
charge.
words.
And she said, "I know, see, hi." And I said, "Okay, 50 rands an hour."
Wow. That was
gosh.
what year? 2000?
2003. I said 50 rands an hour. And then she said, "Okay, you'll be responsible for material development, for printing of material, also traveling," because the project was in KwaZulu. I was staying around Kabeka area. She said, "You traveling as well." My goodness. It was like 2 weeks. And that 2 weeks was a drag because now I had to pay for my own transport, which the amount that I charged did not cover. So I learned a great lesson from there on how to cost, Before then, I did not attend any business skills training, so I didn't know any better. So that's how I started. But one thing led to the other. You meet people like you met me and other people in your journey. I met incredible people who were supportive of my career. So
And who are some of those people
yes,
that you can say?
I can mention the first person that I need to mention is Usisibulelwa Goqwana.
Okay.
From Umtata. Usisibulelwa is the one that introduced me to the whole skills development business in terms of the legislation. She made me to understand the skills development legislation and all that. And she also gave me her own material to use when I'm training.
For free?
For free, for nothing. She just afforded me that opportunity. And then after Usisibulelwa, from this client, someone introduced me to a guy that really handhold me in skills development, Alfie Wagner. He's not in South Africa anymore. He's working, I think, Dubai or something. Alfie introduced me to opportunities. Alfie is the one that will say, when someone is calling him for work, he will say, I've got this young lady that can assist me. And Alfie, by the way, trained me. He was training assessors and moderators. He trained me as an assessor and a moderator for free.
Wow.
And he said, because I want to, when I'm actually swamped with work, I want you to help me. So he did not only train me as an assessor and a moderator, but he gave me opportunity. So he said, if I've got more work, I will give it to Vision4.
And I don't know about you, Sis, but I don't think that happens a lot anymore. Like other people, or maybe I'm not in the right spaces. I think there's a great sense within the entrepreneurial landscape in the Eastern Cape. You can correct me. There's a great sense of, if I can't do this job, then no one else will type of mentality. I don't know. Have you had that experience, or I don't know?
You meet different people along your journey, and all of them, they become lessons for you. It's either it's a lesson for something that you need to do yourself for others, or something that you don't have to do for other people. So people like Alfie, Sis Bulelwa, Sis Kaisa, there's quite a lot of people who have helped me in my journey, are people who helped me to say, lift as you rise.
Wow.
You know, when you meet someone else who needs assistance, be of help. But there are also people who have not helped me at all. I mean, that's the reality of it. So I've come to learn and realize that there are two mindsets.
Yes.
There's a growth mindset, and also which is an abundance mindset. There are people who have that mindset, which are people that I aspire to be like, and there are those people who, when you meet them, they will diminish your value. They feel like, I can't give it to him because he's going to be more prosperous than me. They don't look at it like this. If he develops and he becomes bigger, then he makes me proud. I feel good because I've added value in his life.
Yes. I call it a PhD mindset. Pull him down.
It's also people, actually, women also would talk about it a lot, pull her down syndrome. I think we should coin a new acronym, which is a PHU, pull him up.
Pull him up. Yes.
Pull her up.
Yes.
You know, we need more entrepreneurs who've got that mindset.
Funny that you're mentioning that, because when I was preparing and I was thinking of you, like what type of, I was looking at the books I have, and I saw a book in my shelf written by Professor Bonang Mohale. And I was holding it. When I held it, I thought of you, and the title of the book is Lift as You Rise. And I think that's what you embody. Like you're always lifting. But here's the thing. People that are like you, correct me if I'm wrong, people that are like you, you sort of get depleted from helping too much. Have you experienced that? Or let me ask it this way, how do you guard yourself? Because I experienced that in my journey. Where I was emotionally just drained, and I'm too young. I'm emotionally drained and just tired of always giving and helping and helping. Have you experienced that in your journey? Or
Yes, it's basically what happens to givers. I don't want to say the curse of givers, that fatigue, because when people look at you, there are people who look at you and say, we want to get and not give back to you. So it's funny that you mentioned this, because I have been like that in the past. I did not have boundaries in my giving. I would give to a point of feeling depleted because nobody was adding in my own
no one was
vessel.
pouring to you.
No one was pouring to me. So now my husband taught me another principle of giving. So I saw how I was giving, that it was, you should not give to disadvantage yourself, you know. There's a way of giving that is empowering.
Okay.
So my husband introduced me to a certain guy. I just forgot the name, but it's a Jew. It's a priest. It's a Jew priest. He's talking about giving. He said, when you give to somebody who is not going to give back to you, you are actually causing yourself unnecessary enemies. Because most of the people, if you can look at the people, or if I can look back and look at the people that I don't see eye to eye today that have become my enemies, it's people that I gave to wholeheartedly in the past, because I gave to people who were going to sponge out of me. I never, most of the time, gave people an opportunity to give back. So this is now the change. A young lady or young ladies came to me and said, we want you to mentor us. Please guide us. In the past, I would just go to a coffee shop, pay for coffee, and spend my time pouring to this.
I'm sure you did a lot of that.
I did a lot of that, and I got depleted. So the difference now is, let's have a fair exchange. I'm going to give you this mentorship. I pay for coaching and mentorship. People pay me for it. I charge a fee. This is the amount that I charge for an hour. Are you willing to pay? I says, Nosi, I'm a startup. I can't pay. I said, all right, it's fine. I'm willing to help you. I've helped people in the past. I can do this without even receiving anything. But I want to give you an opportunity so that you can also be a blessing in this vessel. What can be a fair exchange in the relationship? And this lady said, Sis Nosi, mna, I am into designing clothes. So whenever you need something, I also dress people up, for functions. Whenever you need that service, then it's going to be a fair exchange. It's going to be my contribution to you. So now I don't give to people who cannot contribute back. I know it sounds selfish.
Value exchange.
It's value exchange because it gives you, as someone who has received a gift, also a responsibility to pay it back.
Yeah, but it does sound a bit selfish in a way.
It does, especially for someone like me who has been giving without expecting anything in return in the past.
I'm sure you've learned so many lessons besides this one in your entrepreneurial journey. Let's say you are talking to a Sis Nosi Ncoyo, who is 20 years old. With what you know now in business and entrepreneurship, what would you say to yourself, a 20-year-old Nosi Ncoyo?
Let me take myself back to 20 years, when I was 20 years old. Start. The first thing that I would say to that young lady is to, if you've got an idea, you won't lose anything by starting.
Go for it.
Go for it. Take the risk. There will be a lot of naysayers in your journey and who will say you cannot do it. But the worst being yourself, because you are the one that's going to be saying, I'm not capable. I cannot speak well. I cannot do this. I am not learned enough. Start, that's the first one. Because, you would not be where you are right now, Luphumlo, if you did not start.
Yeah.
That's where I would say. And also, surround yourself with people who have got that pull her up mentality. They could be older than you, or they could be younger than you. It's not only old people or people older than you who can pull you up, or people who are more experienced. Your younger peers can also do the pulling up for you. So
how do you identify those people before you move to the next point?
How do I identify the pull?
Yeah, the people that can pull you up.
You look at their life.
Okay.
You did make a research about my life. You studied who I am. You look at them. Social media, people sometimes on social media, they are
flamboyant.
Yeah, they talk and sometimes you watch their lives. And also what you watch as well is the consistency in their lives.
All right.
Because you don't want to associate yourself with someone who's got a big brand today, but behind the scenes, they are not credible people, or they are not people of integrity. So there are things that you need to watch at whoever that you aspire to pour into your life. And basically, people who are consistent, people who themselves have done well in an area that you want them to guide you in, then those are your people.
Yeah. I think that's an important one, the last one. Having someone who has progressed and who's good at what you want to do, and who's 20, 30 years ahead. I think it's it plays an important role in one's development.
But for an example, I would not really encourage people to look at age only.
Okay.
Because there are people who are older than me, who are very self-centered and selfish, who would not even look at pulling me up. But I would find that there are young people who know a lot, especially things like technology, who are willing to assist and take you. I take lessons from my children as well. My
Really?
children are my teachers,
Really?
you know? So you should not only look at age, but you should look at the heart of that person and also the willingness of that person to
Or the
help.
quality of that person.
Yes.
Yeah. You've done a lot, Sis Nosi. Actually, I want us to listen to a couple of voice notes. There are quite a few people I reached out to,
Okay.
and I wanted to hear.
Is it fine like this?
Yeah, can you hear it?
Yes.
Yeah, I wanted to hear what people think of you. So
That's interesting.
let's hear, and maybe you can respond after we've heard all of them.
17 at Douglas
Okay,
in Wolf
let's
High.
start.
Good morning, Betty. My name is Asamahle Dom, and I met Sis Nosi in 2017 at Douglas in Wolf High School, and it has been such an honor to meet an amazing woman who showed Black girls that it's possible to dream beyond and above, and that the sky is actually not the limit. You can achieve anything that you want. And that has been something that shaped my whole life until this fall. And currently, I am mentoring varsity students, and I am sharing the knowledge that I gained because she has shaped the woman that I am today and the values that I stand for.
When I think of Nosi, I'm beginning to think about someone who has a great heart, loving, supportive, and also a pioneer of possibilities.
You're going to make me cry.
Ndasebenza naye mna kwi-Vision4 wasifaka as young people to work, to work. I still remember I've done a lot of things with her. You know, wandinika an office space to run my own entertainment gospel events company under her company. So she's a wonderful person. So she has pioneered the life of possibilities for many people. So we still look up to her. We love her so much. Myself and Buto, we are so excited to be associated with her in such a time like this. Because I mean, when I left to East London, she had made a dinner for me and my wife as encourager as we were starting our new life in East London.
Good
There were so many. Hi there, Sibu Klupula here. When I was asked to share how Aunt Nocipio has impacted my life, there were so many things that came to mind. Aunt Nosi has been a mother, mentor, caregiver, and role model to me. She is one person who encompasses being a well-rounded person. Not only has she encouraged me to focus on education and invest my knowledge into my career, but also instilled in me how important your mental health and well-being is in order for you to live a happy life. Last but definitely not least, she has shown me how important your faith and relationship with Christ is. She is one of the most important women in my life, and I am so blessed to have been given the opportunity to learn from her and be loved by her.
One more.
The year was 2012, and I was a 16-year-old matriculant when this wonderful lady came into our school and told us about an opportunity that would soon change my life. Vision4 Women took me, gave me hope, gave me vision, told me I was destined for greatness. Sis Nosi would pray over us, and in my life today, I'm a chartered accountant. I am fully qualified, living in the United Kingdom, and if you wouldn't have told that little girl, Isdanga, and tell her that she is destined for greatness, I absolutely wouldn't be where I am. Thank you so much, Sis Nosi. I love you.
Vuyo Ngwiki, also known as Uvovo. When I was released in 2007, there is a lot of people that I met, and I can't remember which year I met Sis Nosi, but I remember she sat with panels endandikuzo for business competition. I think it's either I was introduced in 2008 when I was friends or business mentor yam enguRonel Pinar equi-training nayo sisinosi equi-training. So kwakukho imbewu who's who. She was sitting in that panel asking me questions. I think I came third position or something, clo competition, because of business yam was more on future more than into biseyisenzeka. And that I think as ixesha lihamba simane sidibana kwizinto, into enkulu wayendenzela yona that I will never forget. One, the introducer kwabantu bakwa-SAB for me to be facilitator kwi-program yamadoda, uTip Tavern Intervention program yakwa-SAB. And then on top of that, when I started Inkumbuzo Photography, business yakhe Vision for Women booked me religiously to an extent that following yayo grew kakhulu. Because if she had 200 people event and we captured, it meant those people would come with abanbabo to come check photos. That even in yayo, and she has done that for years. And now whenever I want to start into, usisinoso ngomnye abanendithetha nabo. Currently sibhizi ngoku sifuna ukwenza into ye-Boys Foundation, and that she's open and always available to assist ukuthi ngeziphi izinto bekhe wazenza yena for into ze-girls. Ndiyabulela kakhulu mansisinosi, ube yi-blessing kum kakhulu nefamily yam. Sabulela and siyakuthanda kakhulu. Thank you.
Wow, Luphumlo. I was not expecting this.
How does that make you feel?
Wow. It's amazing. It feels amazing. I'm emotional right now. I was really not expecting this. Can I take?
Yeah. Okay, can take it off.
Wow. I was not expecting this. It feels amazing. You know, as I said, some of the things that you do for other people, you forget.
Yeah.
You know, Anele, I forgot about the office space thingy that he's talking about, that he's referring to. And it's amazing that when I gave to those people, I gave my all. I mean, maybe that's who I am. I'm a gift. That's my destiny. I'm with gift. I need to be a gift to others. But just to realize that how that meant to other people makes me feel good. Thank you so much. Now, I did not expect this at all. This is really so unexpected and so touching. Thank you.
How do you think, how can we make more of you? How can we replicate what is inside of you? Because I think, and I'm not saying it to blow your horn or anything like that, but I really, really believe that you are a rare breed. So how do you think we can replicate people that are giving, that don't, that always want to uplift others up in our nation, particularly in our province? Because a lot of people will say there are no opportunities in the Eastern Cape, there are no opportunities up by, and whilst maybe they are, it's just that those people that know those opportunities are not kind enough to open the door or to lift others up so that others can access similar opportunities. So how can we recondition people that are out there to say that as a nation, as people, as entrepreneurs, there's enough for all of us? How do you think we can, what can we do?
All right, I'll take you to the mentorship program that I do for girls. The girl that spoke first in the VNs, she's part of Vision 4. She was part of Vision 4 Women. She will tell you, and Osibu and all the other girls know Amanda. I would say to them, look, that program is free. Luphumlo, those girls don't pay. We foot the bill as a Vision 4 Academy for those camps and everything. I said to them, I don't want you to pay anything, but the best way that you can pay me back is to pay it forward.
Wow.
Is to go to your schools, because the school would choose about 3 to 4 or 5 girls. And I would say, whatever material that you receive from us here at Vision 4 camp or workshop, go identify few girls from your schools who are not part of the program and teach them the lessons that you've learned. So the best way to do it is to pay it forward. So I am so happy that Asemahle is uplifting other girls because she's doing exactly what is in my heart. Going back to your question, I'm a believer. I'm a child of God. I'm a Christian. And one thing that is laid in my heart right now is the heart. It all starts for me in the condition of your heart. You can have money, you can have everything. You can even give to other people. Sometimes we give to other people for our own benefit, not because we want to empower those people.
Yeah.
So when you have a good heart and that condition, which I believe we all have to look at our hearts and, you know, and look at improving the condition of our hearts, then you are able to know that if I'm helping Luphumlo, I am helping myself.
Yeah.
Luphumlo is an extension of me. The reason why we are not able to support other people or other people's children, because we are so much focused on thinking that it's only upapama no kama who need to be successful, not realizing that we are a network. Ukama and upapama, my son is going to be soon an architect, but he's going to be an architect working in a world full of other people.
Yes.
So if I'm short-sighted and I'm just empowering what is mine, not preparing them for the network and the collaborations that they are going to do or make with other people, then I'm really short-sighted. So how do you duplicate who I am or who you are? It's basically just teaching people that giving and helping others empowers you, and also it's gonna help to make a sustainable future for everybody. I mean, if you are in projects where you are teaching maybe young boys like Uvovo, because he was involved in crime, that they should not participate in crime. Uvovo is not only helping his family, his immediate family, but he's helping other families and also himself, because he's gonna be part of that world. And so my take is, especially to the girls that I've mentored, it has been my message: be heart smart, you know, think about others, empower others, whatever that you have, share with others, because when you are sharing it with someone, you are also helping yourself.
Wow.
Yeah.
Be heart smart. I've never heard that before.
We talk, we've got 3 legs that we stand in at Vision 4 Girls: heart smart, hand smart, as well as
Head smart.
head smart. So we talk about issues of the heart. We also talk about intellect, how you need to empower your mind, and also how hand smart, which is the giving to other people. So we do a lot of projects with the girls where they need to give so that they are well-rounded. So I would basically say I am not the first person to give. I have watched my grandmother do it. My grandmother was doing the same work to the community of KwaZakele, where she had choirs. She would take young people and make them sing, and also take them to escapades to the beach and so
What
forth.
are escapades?
Yeah, like retreats and so forth.
escapades.
Yeah, to the beach. She would organize maybe a bus for KwaZakele youth and take them to the beach. Back in the day, people were not too much into leisure. So my grandmother used to do that. So we watched people doing. So I'm sure the more we have people whom young people can look up to who are giving, they're also going to do this. We should just be those role models.
Yeah. So Nosi, you've got an MBA. Congratulations on that.
My friends will say, Mchana, that was 2015.
Was it 2015?
That was 2015.
That was so long ago.
Yeah, that was 2015.
And,
so what is the next move? They will ask.
And I've often seen, even on your Facebook, how you are advocating for education.
Yeah.
Let's look at your MBA. What I tried to see, because I was trying to look at the picture that you posted, what your treatise was on.
Yes.
What was it on? What are some of the key things? I'm sure it was about SMMEs or something similar. What was it on?
All right. At that time, I was starting the film business, which is the Amambozana Studios business. So, and also I was in the enterprise development space. My treatise looked at the challenges faced by SMEs in film in the Nelson Mandela Metro.
All right.
So basically, it was like issues of finance, access to funding, access to markets. Those were the issues that I was looking at, especially for those guys who are in film. Because I've realized that when it comes to the film industry, people used to we used to be brain drained. People would go to Joburg for those opportunities. So that bothered me a lot as a girl from the Eastern Cape, particularly from the Nelson Mandela Bay municipality. So I looked at that in my treatise.
And were there any sort of positive or solutions that you came across? Because I think with some of these problems
Yeah.
of funding and access to markets, they cut across
All
all,
sectors.
you know. What are some of the key maybe solutions that you might have discovered in
Yeah.
terms of some of these things?
All right. What I've also realized, it's basically some of the barriers for entrepreneurs are not from entrepreneurs themselves. They are with the officials who are gatekeepers of the
Yeah.
funding.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of work or maybe progression from my study is to basically look at who is over the counter that facilitates those opportunities. Because some of the people that we knock at doors with, they are not enterprising, they are not entrepreneurial, they don't understand failure.
Yeah.
I mean, if you
And that's
come-
a big issue. Big.
so that's what I've realized, that the solution is not really when it comes to access to funding. Entrepreneurs do knock at doors because that's basically what we advocate, that you should stand up, you should start, you should go knock at doors. But who is over the counter that's assisting you? Someone who will put your document on the table and they don't sign. Someone who will say, it's Luphumlo, let's not help him, you know? And people who are not enterprising, people don't understand how to run the agency of helping you. So they create the red tape and the barriers for ourselves. So I feel that as much as that for me, it will be a solution. I don't know what training they get, especially those people that handle enterprise development, or the agencies that handle enterprise development, because I think most of us get stuck there.
Are you saying they must go on trainings or what?
I'm sure they do, but I think also it's just maybe just getting the right attitude, understanding that if I am not issuing the order number, if I am not signing the invoice, then I am actually making Luphumlo, on the other hand, starve, and also the people that work for him.
Yeah. A day in the life of Usis Nosi Ncoyo. What time do you wake up? What do you do in the morning?
I used to be very energetic. As you know, I was telling another friend recently, she was asking, but what happened to Vision for Women? You've been quiet of late. I say, you know what? I grew up, I told you about my grandmother, I told you about my dad. At home, you had to wake up very early in the morning. Work was like, for you, if you work hard, you are productive. That's how I grew up. So in my mind, for a long time, waking up, doing was like a big thing for me, because working hard was, for me, related to me being enough and being productive. So as I am growing older, I'm closer to 50 now, I'm 47.
Wow.
So as I am growing older, I am tending to relax a bit. So a day in my life now is different to a day in my life 5 to 10 years ago. I'm more relaxed now. I'm
Wake up anytime.
Yes, and with hybrid work, my husband is working from home, so we're spending a lot of time together, even though we're working. So I'm not as busy, or I'm not as hectic as I used to. I spend more time taking care of my well-being now, more than before. I do exercise. I like to exercise. I do exercise like skipping at home. I do those home exercises. I love to read still, like reading books, because I'm into training. So, you know, as a trainer, you need to prepare. You are forever reading and preparing for the next session, or for the next workshop. So I am forever reading something. There's always reading in my life. There's cooking. I love cooking.
Wow.
There's baking. I love baking. There's crocheting as well. That's basically how that's my leisure.
Okay.
So so a day in my life is full of fun. I'm seeing that I'm enjoying my life quite a bit more now that I'm relaxed.
Wow. And if because you mentioned that you read a lot, because I was going to ask you, like, what are some of the top books that you've read that you can say, you know what, as young entrepreneurs and leaders, go out and look for A, B, C, D, E,
Yes.
F, G.
All right. I enjoyed, I love, because I'm into, I do a lot of work, consulting work in leadership and management. So I read quite a number of leadership books.
Yeah.
So in my study, you'll find your Jim Collins,
Wow.
Good to
Favorite
Great,
book by Jim Collins, Good to
Good
Great.
to Great,
I enjoyed
How
that.
the Mighty Fall.
Yes.
Yes, that's also one of my of the books that I enjoy. I also like inspirational books like biblical leadership and all that. I would enjoy your Joel Austin's.
Oh, wow, okay.
I listen to him quite a lot in his YouTube channels and podcasts. And also you'll find John Maxwell as well. I started with John Maxwell long before he was my go-to guy when it comes to leadership. So I've progressed now to your Jim Collins and so forth. And also I just like biographies and you know, and of course your book is in my shelf. Leadership. Is it leadership? The red book. Yeah. So I really love local you know, the local authors like yourself,
Olwa,
Olwa,
yes.
you know, Uvo recently.
Yes.
So I was thinking the other day, hey, I've got a lot of authors that I know in my study, which is like, I love it. So so those are the books that you'll find. There's quite a lot of books there. Biographies, leadership, a lot of leadership material that I consume.
You know, I was just going to say, John C. Maxwell, I find it so difficult to read some of his material because sometimes for me, it's a bit too simple. Other than Jim Collins, who is more scientific in his approach. I'm not sure if you...
Hence I said I started with your John C. Maxwell.
Okay,
Now
okay.
I have like what I consume more now, because I am in the academic space where I train leaders, then it will be your John C. Maxwell. We use him a lot as well.
Oh, okay.
In our modules, like for example, the way that he approaches leadership, we use it a lot for the corporate leaders that we train. So, and also a lady that's also in my bookshelf that I'm enjoying at the moment is the one that talks about vulnerability. Brene Brown.
Okay, I don't know.
I'm enjoying her a lot. She's also into leadership. You must check her out. She brings the softness into leadership, vulnerability, and how the wholehearted leaders get to connect with their followers. So I'm enjoying her quite a bit right now. So I'm into Brene Brown right now.
Let's say this is a room full of CEOs, CFOs, C-suite executive managers. And you're conducting a session on leadership. Introduction to leadership. What do you say?
You're joking. You're not going to do this to me.
I'm putting you on the spot.
You're putting me on the
CEOs, where would you start?
You know, most leadership will have different tiers. You'll have your executive, you've got your middle managers or leaders, and then you've got your operators on the floor. What I would say to the CEOs is to listen to the middle managers, because they are the ones that are sandwiched in the middle, that have to take instructions from the CEOs and filter them down to the operators. What we find is that most CEOs, they've got the technical know-how when it comes to the business, but they lack the emotional intelligence and also that part that is relational, especially with the middle managers, which are very key when it comes to leaders, whom I'm exposed to, because I'm more exposed to the middle managers.
Can you just bring your thing closer a bit? I'm sorry.
Right.
The mic
Am I fine? Okay, I'm too comfortable now. I even forgot that I'm in an interview. So what I would tell the leaders, especially the CEOs, listen. You know, and also the other thing is, it's okay to know the business. It's okay to have the expertise of running the business, of knowing where you want to take the business. But also, coupled with that, have emotional intelligence. Because we find that CEOs have got your MBAs, they've got all these qualifications, they've got strategy. But with that strategy, they don't know how to deal and handle the people, listening, collaborating with others. When I am training, especially middle managers, the cry is, Sis Nosi, how we wish our executives were sitting here. Because whatever that you are teaching us, we are not going to be able to implement back at home. Yet, they are the ones that approved budget for us to be here. So it's more like a tick box exercise that go to training. But when you come back, we're not going to give you space to implement. So I would say,
That's sad.
yeah, it's sad. It's a sad reality. So I feel like most CEOs at that level, they get so much detached
From people.
from people.
Yeah. And what's your go-to definition of leadership? I'm just hopping on this because you mentioned it. Your go-to.
Oh, I know you're so passionate.
Well, your go-to definition. When you think leadership, what comes to your mind?
For me, I mean, there's so many definitions that I've read on leadership, but my go-to, it's not like, for me, it's about, leadership is about giving direction for your organization and at the same time, hand-holding your people to reach that destination. I think I'm trying to put it as simple as possible. It has to do with the human-centered approach, where it's not only about maximizing the profits of the business, but it's about taking care of your people. So you maximize the profits of your business, your strategy, your direction, but also take care of the people.
You know,
Have that
that's a great one, and I agree with you there, Sis. I was giving a talk at NMMU to some entrepreneurs, and then one of the guests was Dr. Randall Jonas. I'm sure you know him. And part of the points that I made there was that as leaders or as entrepreneurs, we have to be able to balance between growing our businesses through people and growing our businesses through systems. You know, because I was at a place where I thought having more people in the company means that the company is growing. And then I discovered, man, I can just build better systems and not put myself at a strain so that I've got to pay all of these people, you know. But Dr. Jonas said, I'm sure you won't mind me saying this. He said, he came up and said, hey, no, yes, that's correct, but we must value people, you know, people are important and all of that. For you, my last question on this, where would you sit in terms of that conversations of?
I believe in systems, because if you've got proper systems in place in your organization, then you don't have to be there, you know, as an entrepreneur or as a leader. But those systems have to be made in such a way that they work for people. I would tend to lean towards Dr. Jonas, but also marry the two, your idea and Dr. Jonas. For me, if you've got, sometimes we develop systems in our businesses, but those systems, they don't serve the people. For me, your business has to serve the people. I mean, you will realize that even, I mean, if you're going through literature or leadership literature right now, leadership is moving towards being a people-centered, human-centered approach.
Definitely.
So people are going to be key going forward, and they are key actually right now. With all the challenges that we've experienced in the world, you need to put people at the center of leadership.
No, man, Sis Nosi, thank you so much for gracing us and for the conversation and your input. One of my final questions would be,
I didn't know that Luphumlo asked so many questions. My child would say, Mama, ask so many questions.
Is it?
Yeah, it's intelligent minds.
Yeah. When was your breakthrough? Some other people would ask it this way. When did you make your first million? I would ask, when was your first actual breakthrough in your business?
2011.
2011. We've got some people that are cutting and so.
Okay.
2011.
2011 was my breakthrough year.
Okay.
In terms of contracts, in terms of work, in terms of just me having a good life.
You made lots of.
Yeah, 2011. That was like
What happened
like,
is-
that was my breakthrough year.
Was it through you meeting certain people, or what was it through? What happened?
Meeting people, a combination of meeting people, working hard, and also working hard on the brand itself
Is it?
and putting it out there. So, and also just taking risks, because I remember I was not into looking for contracts. I was scared of that life. I thought I was not
Yeah.
capable of, proposing something and then someone approves it. So I took risks, a lot of risks, and they yielded to those returns in
That's amazing.
2011. I know you're going to ask how much. This is
No,
not-
I won't ask.
Yeah,
What's your message to South Africans that want to make an impact, that want to start
Yeah.
organizations, that want to start businesses?
Yeah.
Let me ask it like this. I had a very interesting experience recently. I had planned to interview someone, 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
I called that person for an interview, went to pick them up, found out that that person was not well. The following day, that person passed away. And I spent the whole day with that person, not in a formal interview, but we were just talking,
So I'm not going to pass away to
No. Please, that's not what I'm saying. But please.
Yeah, I'm joking.
No, but what I'm saying is, it's living from the finish is always important.
Yeah.
Just looking at life from the end till where you are. So, what would you say to some people? Let's say you are 80 years old now. You've finished. What would you say to people out there?
It's interesting that you are asking me this question, because I look at this, I look at it every day.
Yeah.
I don't know how were you affected by 2020 COVID year? I was heavily affected. I lost my dad in COVID. I lost family members during COVID. And I saw my dad having a stroke in front of me. We were having a conversation. It was a normal day.
Sure.
For me, that taught me that each day is more like your final day.
Sure.
So you should live each day to the fullest as if this is your final day. So it's interesting that you asking this question, because there are two questions that I ask myself every day. If this was your last day, Nosi, how many people would feel loved by touching you?
Sure.
So I am intentional about greeting people. I am intentional about okaying people. I'm happy that I okayed you, Nonande, when you came to my office. Like, I'm intentional. When I see you, I see like someone who's great, someone who's powerful. So how much did I give love today? How much love did I give today? If that was my last day? And what value did I add to someone's life, be it my husband, be it my children, be it anyone that I meet? Mnage Luphumlo, I think from Brené Brown, the lady that I was talking about, who talks about vulnerability, I learned that it is okay to say to people, I love you first. So if it's my last day, you must definitely know, but I would have said you are doing well. I love you. I would okay you.
Wow.
AmaZulu athi xa ethetha, when they greet, athi siyawubona, meaning I see you. So now I live my life. If this was my last day, was to see me and to see you and say, you are okay, I'm also okay.
Wow. Sis Nosi, thank you so much for the work that you're doing. We salute you for Vision4.
You made me cry, though.
I know.
You know, how can you make a lady with makeup cry?
I know there's more coming. So really thank you, from the bottom of my heart, for your inspiration to the work that we do as global leadership consultants, to many others out there. And it's only just a few that you've heard today. And I'm sure there are hundreds of others out there that you've impacted. Some of the people are all over the world that you've impacted. People don't know that some of your prodigies and your mentees are all over the world through the impact that you've made. So we are really super grateful for that. I just want to encourage you to just drop us a comment wherever you're consuming this content. Go and check out the work that Vision4 Academy is doing. Vision4 Group now, ne?
Yes,
It's
but
called.
the website is still Vision4 Academy.
The website is still Vision4 Academy. Go and follow Sis Nosi on Facebook and all other. Are you on Twitter? Are you on Instagram?
I'm on Instagram as Nosi Ncoyo, and then and Facebook.
And Facebook, ne? Not on Twitter.
For obvious reasons.
Yeah. Just remember, this episode is brought to you by My Maito. At the back, we are shooting today from My Maito. So if ever you need, catering for your events or anything like that, this is the place to be. The food is amazing, and they're doing so well. And it is out here in Woma, location 23 Witboy Street. So, Sis Nosi, thank you so much, and we wish you all the best.
Thank you, Luphumlo. Thank you for the invite. Honored.